Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. This week I'm coming at you with a 5-minute handstand warm-up routine that is super quick and easy and great to just get you straight into doing your handstand program. I know that you have those days when you just really want to get straight into your handstand program and you just want to start doing handstands, but it is super important that you warm up things like your shoulders, your wrists and your arms to make sure that they're all warm and so that you don't injure yourself when you're doing handstands, because they are considered a physical activity. And even I get impatient sometimes and I just want to get stuck straight into my handstand program. So on those kind of days, I just make sure that I get through this like really basic warm up to just make sure I get my body like moving and it's nice and warm. So let's go. Also, apologies if there's background construction noise because we have construction going on in our neighborhood like all the time. But anyway, jumping into this quick 5-minute warm-up, I just start off with some big arm circles going forward and then some going backwards, just to sort of like really loosen up the general arms. I then like to come in front of my body, sort of very horizontally, and then also go on sort of a slight diagonal. That really gets right up into this area of the shoulder. I then like to do a quick little PNF of the bicep stretch, a little swing in between, and then a little tricep stretch. And my other favorite thing that I've been doing recently is little arm movement combo, where you bring your hand up in front of your face, take it around to the back and straighten it out. And I do that at quite a fast pace, but I'll do it a little bit slower to show you guys. But yeah, I do that quite fast, and then I also do that on the other side. And if I'm feeling particularly coordinated, I'll do sort of like both at the same time. Alright, and now let's go down to the floor. Then down on the ground, I do some little wrist stretches to really warm up my wrists, because they are probably the most important part to warm up when you're doing handstands, along with your shoulders. And also because they're like quite a common area to get like injured when you handstand. I like to do the forward and back motions and just sort of like gently like walking into the position rather than like holding it. And I also like to do little sort of like shoulder circles above my wrists, sort of putting weight through my wrist and then bringing it off. I like to do these nice little circles. I also like doing this wrist stretching exercise because I find that it really helps to get on the backside of my forearms. For this one, you just sort of like make 2 knuckles and you put them down on the floor and you make sure that your arms are horizontal to your wrists rather than round the back. After that, I like to give my wrists a little shake out. And then I like to do some wrist push-ups because I find that this really helps to sort of like warm up, get some strengthening and some blood flow to my wrists. So making sure your fingers are pointing forwards. You can either do this one in a full-on plank or you can do it down on your knees, depending on where you're at with this one. And then you want to just make sure that you hinge through that first knuckle. I like to do about like 10 of these in a plank position or like 15 on my knees. Then after that, give your wrists a little shake out. And then the final sort of like exercises that I like to do are some more sort of like shoulder opening exercises, because I find that I have quite closed shoulders in my handstands and it's a pretty common thing, so it's a great thing to add to your warm-up before handstands because it'll just help with that shoulder range. My favorite exercise for doing these is coming into the tabletop position with your fingers facing towards your heels and then just rocking forward and back. You more want to sort of like focus on the over range here rather than going too far back. Whew. The other shoulder opening exercise that is one of my favorites and is like super easy to do is this one sort of on the ground or on a block, and you just place your arms on a box and you make sure that your shoulders are internally rotated and not like flared out. And this one you want to try and not get it too mixed up with the back stretch. You want to make sure that you're rounding your back and not bending it. And then you want to try and drive your shoulders down to the ground. It shouldn't look like you can get very far unless you have like really flexible open shoulders. I like to do some little bounces here to really try and get into the stretch. Alright, and give your arms a little shake out. And that brings me to the end of that quick and easy 5-minute arm warm-up. It is perfect for when you just want to get straight into it, but so important to do. I would highly recommend, or even just like picking a couple of your like favorite arm and shoulder and like wrist exercises. That way you can make sure that you are like warm and fully ready to handstand. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you want to see more, consider subscribing and click that little notification bell if you want to be notified whenever I upload a new video, which is usually weekly on Sundays, so stay tuned for next week's video. And if you guys have any exercises that you like to add to your warm-up, let me know down in the comments because I'm always looking for new exercises and stretches. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Bye.